Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now. Today we're going to be going over a potential free hit draft for Double Gameweek 37. So if you're excited for the video, drop a like down below. Leave a comment, are you playing your free hit this week? If not, what transfers are you thinking of making? Subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So, starting things off, in goal we do have Onana and Petrovic. Onana is obviously going to be the goalkeeper that you bench this week. Being on a free hit, you can't activate your bench boost as well, which is unfortunate. But Petrovic would be the goalkeeper that I would go with for Double Game Week 37 for a number of reasons. The first one being that now that multiple Chelsea defenders are back from injury, I feel like there might be a little bit of rotation, like Gusto's back, Holwell's back, James might also be back. So it's going to be hard to pinpoint one certain defender to use over the next couple of games for Chelsea. So I think Petrovic is just a much safer option. Nice fixtures as well, both away games, but Forest and Brighton will be Chelsea's next two opponents. I feel like the Forest game is going to be a lot harder than the Brighton game because Forest actually have relegation to kind of fight against this season, and so I feel like if they get anything from that Chelsea game, then they're basically safe. So yeah, I think that Forest are really going to come out guns blazing. It's at the City ground as well, which is a fortress in itself. Our XG conceded isn't actually that high at home. It's obviously terrible away, but yeah, as a Forest fan, I'm much happier that this is at the City ground than Stamford Bridge. And then the Brighton fixture, yeah, I mean, hey, they might not keep either clean sheet in either of the games, but I just still think he's a much better option than the other keepers because obviously for like City, you've got Edison, who again has, I guess, a higher chance of keeping a clean sheet, but because City just dominate games, if City do concede, he's not really going to make any save points. So if a goal goes in, he's only going to get you 2 points. Whereas a player like Petrovic is going to get you save points and potentially that clean sheet as well. I think that Gvardiol is just a much better option than Edison this week. He's had like 4 attacking returns over the last 4 fixtures. He's just the defender that I would definitely have on a free hit this week. Even if I'm not on a free hit, it would definitely be a defender that I'd be looking at bringing in. But either way, Onana and Petrovic are your goalkeepers. But yeah, Petrovic is going to be your main choice. I know that Sanchez is also back in partial team training, but Petrovic has just been so good recently. They've been keeping clean sheets, they've been scoring for fun. I just don't know why Sanchez would just instantly replace Petrovic. I just don't think there's any need for it. So, yeah, Petrovic will be your goalkeeper. At the back, we've got Trippier, Dalot, Branthwaite, Pedro Porro, and Gvardiol. So, Gvardiol definitely got to be on a free hit, 100%. I feel like he's the best defender to own this week, full stop. Porro is probably the second best defender to own this week. Obviously, Spurs' defense has been very lackluster lately, but that Burnley at home fixture, you'd like to think they'll keep a clean sheet. The City at home, you know, that could go either way. They are City's bogey team at the end of the day, but Porro just offers you that attacking threat as well going forward. So I just really like him as an option. Branthwaite's just in there. I know he's a single game week player, but I could see him keeping a clean sheet over somebody like Dalot. Dalot's just simply there because he's a double game week defender. So I'd honestly put Branthwaite first on my bench if I was going to out of my defenders, just because I think Sheffield United at home, they've got nothing to play for now. They're already down. I know that Everton are already safe as well, but you know, Everton's defensive record at home is actually really good, and I just think that Branthwaite could really offer you a lot, and I think he definitely outscores the likes of Dalot this week as well. Again, Dalot's just there for a double game week defender. Trippier is there just for a bit of a differential. He is back in team training. I would only really go Trippier if I'm chasing rank. I mean, being on a free hit is a differential itself, but Trippier is so low owned because obviously he's been you know, injured for a while now, but he is back in team training. Does that mean he's going to start 2 fixtures? I really don't know. I feel like he goes back into because they obviously still have something to push for, so they're going to want to risk players, and Trippier, he's just such a massive asset to have for that back line for Newcastle, because obviously they've got so many injuries like Shah and players like that that are just not going to be back for the remainder of the season. So I think if I was chasing rank, I would definitely play Trippier this week. If you're not chasing rank, or we get information that Trippier is not going to be out, like obviously Howe is like the worst manager for it. He never comes out and says it how it is. Like, he said that Shah's season is over, but Shah's come out and said, you know, he expects to play for Newcastle again this season. So that's the kind of situation you got. I feel like you kind of have to go off the press conference as well. If he says that Trippier's fit and he's going to be in the squad, then I would be more inclined to have him, because I think if he's fit, he's going to play. I don't know why he would bench Trippier. I know that he's obviously coming back from injury and stuff, but I think these are 2 really important games for Newcastle. So I would go with him. If he's saying that, you know, if he comes out and says like he's not fit enough to obviously start then obviously you'd go like Dan Burn over him if you wanted to. But he's just a really good differential. We know what he can do. You know that the kind of assist potential he has, obviously the clean sheet potential that Newcastle have. I just really like Trippier as an option on a free hit. Also, if you're on a free hit, you kind of want to go for it anyways. But like I said, especially if you're chasing rank, if you're defending your rank, you just go Dan Burn. He's a much safer option. But like I say, for the position that I'm in, even though I'm not chasing rank, I feel like if we hear good news about Trippier, because I'm getting rid of Shah anyway and I have the funds, if we get good news about Trippier that he's good to start, then I'll be bringing him in over Dan Burn because he's just a huge differential and he's just... The capabilities that he has for points is just so high. Anyway, though, that is the back line. So obviously I would play Trippier, Porro and Gvardiol, or Burn, Porro and Gvardiol for my back line this week. In midfield, we've got Foden, Palmer, Richarlison, Gordon, and Son as well. So the situation with the attackers is you have to bench one of them. So we have 5 midfielders here that you don't want to bench. You know, Foden, obviously, I feel like he has to be a given to start. Palmer has to be a given to start. And then probably Son as well. So it's going to be out of Richarlison and Gordon who you bench. Because you've got the 3 strikers that we'll go into a second that I feel like you can't really bench. So it has to be between Richarlison and Gordon. Now, Richarlison has a really good fixture with Burnley at home. And then Gordon has a really good fixture with Brighton at home. Obviously, Richarlison has a better fixture, but Gordon's numbers at home are absolutely ridiculous. I feel like Richarlison definitely will. I know that he did just get benched against Liverpool, but when him and Maddison came on, it changed the game. And I feel like he's definitely going to be starting against Burnley and City as well, because they still technically have something to play for. I know they're on an awful run at the moment, 4 losses in a row, but they do still have the potential to obviously get champs and stuff. So I feel like, yeah, Richarlison will be starting, but then you've also got Gordon as well. Whoever you don't play out of these two will obviously be first on your bench, but yeah, it's one of those really where you just this is the issue. There's so many good attackers to have this week for this double that it's just one of those. Like, there's also Bruno Fernandes as well, who obviously isn't in this team just because he's a bit of a doubt. I feel like on a free hit, you don't really want to bring in players that are going to be in a doubt. And I know that obviously we've got Trippier in this squad, but I've just spoken about him. But somebody like Bruno Fernandes, I think when there are other midfield, because there's just not really any other good defender options this week instead of Trippier, barring Dan Burn. Like, obviously Porro and Gvardiol are must, but your third defender slot, it really, like, it's up for debate. You know, it could be Burn, it could be Trippier, it could be anybody else. With the midfielders, it's not like Bruno is a necessity. Like, there's a good player that can replace him if not. So yeah, for me, I think I would edge it and maybe play Gordon, just because of that City at home fixture that Richarlison has. Whereas obviously Gordon has Man United away, and obviously Man United are terrible at the moment as well. So I think I would just go Gordon a little bit more, but it's really how you're feeling on the day and how you want to kind of do it. And then, yeah, obviously Son just makes the squad anyway. I would play, obviously, Son over Richarlison. He's the captain. He's on penalties, stuff like that. So that's the midfield there. And then up top, it obviously writes itself. You could go Nicholas Jackson, Erling Haaland, and then Isak as well. Again, if you wanted to go for a massive differential, instead of Isak, you go somebody like Callum Wilson if you're really chasing rank. There has been reports that this week that he is injured. He's pulled some sort of like hamstring, but then apparently those reports are wrong, so he is fine. He's been in team training, so I wouldn't let that put you off. I'm sure Hal will speak about that in the press conference anyway and say that he's absolutely fine. He could also potentially be on penalties now as well. Isak did just miss his last one with Wilson on the pitch, so that might be another thing in Wilson's favour. But yeah, like I say, if you're heavily chasing rank, then maybe a Wilson and Trippier double up instead of Isak and Burn is the way to go. And then obviously Haaland going to be incredibly highly owned this week as the captaincy. I think you just have to go with him this week, especially after he just scored 4 goals. And the Nicholas Jackson obviously in really, really good form. Numbers are really, really good. Chelsea are playing really, really well. I feel like you have to play him as well. You know, it's basically between Richarlison and Gordon for this. So I would probably play Gordon. I would play Petrovic, Trippier, Porro, Gvardiol, Foden, Palmer, Gordon, Son, and then Jackson, Haaland, and Isak. And that's probably how I would set up my free hit draft for Game Week 37, or Double Game Week 37. But yeah, obviously there are other players that could easily make this draft as well, like your De Bruyne's, as I say, your Bruno Fernandes, players like that. But I really like this draft, and I think that hopefully would score you a lot of points. Obviously, you can't play your bench boost, which sucks, but at the same time, this should be fine. Like, having a free hit is just a massive differential in itself because a lot of people would have played it by now. But either way, that's going to be the free hit draft for Double Game Week 37. If you enjoyed the video, please do consider hitting the like button down below. It's trying at 50 likes. Leave a comment. Are you free hitting this week? If not, what transfers are you making? Remember, I'll have my final team selection video tomorrow, and then Saturday, we should be doing the first ever deadline stream on the channel as well. I know it's a bit of an earlier deadline. It's like 12:30, I think. But either way, yeah, we'll be live at like 10 a.m. or something like that. I don't know. You'll see it on the channel as like a scheduled stream. But yeah, first deadline stream will be Saturday morning. So I'm looking forward to that. But either way, make sure to subscribe if you're brand new. Ring the notification bell. And until next time, peace.